Do you know what your sweet spot is when you're doing pumping? What your ideal vacuum should be? Well, today we're going to explore those in Taylor Wright channel.
Or the right channel.
That's right. Taylor Wright Show, everyone. Taylor Wright Show. Here we go.
Anywho, we have a variety of vacuum gauges that you can pick from. Having no gauge is a no-brainer because if you don't know what your numbers are and you don't have an idea, you can be over pumping and going ahead and causing damage. So never go ahead and pump when there's pain or discoloration and whatever you're pumping. So looking at the various covers, we provide various colors of the covers for protecting the vacuum gauge. Going ahead and measuring a vacuum is very touchy. Why? Well, it doesn't take much for it to leak. Doesn't take very much for the vacuum to be gone. If it isn't tightly sealed and properly done, bingo, there's no vacuum, so you're down to zero. So measuring that vacuum, knowing what your ideal sweet spot is extremely important. So we thoroughly go ahead and try to promote people to use a vacuum gauge anytime they're pumping, so they know what their sweet spot is, what is ideal for them, and what they're comfortable using as a vacuum. We have different gauges. Some of them are encapsulated in such a way that they have a 2-meter drop capability. So from 2 meters up, you can drop this gauge and it will withstand that kind of impact. And it's a little bigger, it's a little bit more expensive, but this item holds up and is very, very rugged and very durable. So having a 2-meter drop gauge is the way to go. Standard gauges can go ahead and become disoriented, discalibrated, and non-functional because there's no protective mechanism inside to maintain them when they get rough treatment. This is a vacuum gauge that handles both vacuum and pressure. We have pumps that provide, by sliding a bezel, you're doing a vacuum, sliding the bezel in the other direction, you're now doing pressure. So it's great for pumping up inflatable toys. Other types of vacuum gauges we have are a larger version, shown here, that we go ahead and also have in both vacuum and pressure formula. Gauges today are available so that they rotate, so that you can go ahead and have the gauge so whatever position you're using the product in, the gauge can be orientated in such a way that you can see the gauge whether you're left-handed, right-handed, pointing it straight out, and you want to have the gauge face you, it rotates. And that swiveling capability of the gauge is very, very convenient. Again, it's important to follow and know what your sweet spot is and what kind of vacuum you're actually putting and creating while you're pumping. Other things to note is some of our gauges go ahead and have a gauge that can go ahead and automatically is a different kind of swivel gauge here that goes ahead and has a connector on it so that it can be fastened and secured and the gauge can be removed from the pump. We have found that customers that utilize pumps with gauges are much more satisfied because they have a better handle on what type of pumping they're doing and can do it consistently at the same levels of vacuum to go ahead and create a program on which they do exercising and repeated actions and usage of their pumps.